With the recent ban of gouging fire in Gen 9 overused, it would be interesting to look at every banned Pokemon in Gen 9. And there is quite a lot of Pokemon to go over. In fact, we're seeing a record-breaking amount of bans in this generation. So let's dive in and go over each banned Pokemon in chronological order. Just a heads up, I will not be covering Pokemon that were instantly banned and not even tested, like Spectrier, and also previously banned Pokemon like Gliscor and Roaring Moon, as they are not banned anymore. I will also not include banned moves like Shed Tail. So that's really the intro, let's go. Fluttermane got banned only 2 days after its release, which is one of the fastest bans in history, and is for a good reason. Fluttermane is considered one of the most broken Pokemon to ever impact the overused metagame. Its combination of insane special attack and speed, along with an incredible Fairy Ghost offensive typing and coverage moves like Mystical Fire and Psyshock, leaves it with few reliable defensive checks. Calm Mind as substitute enhanced its offensive presence even further, forcing teams to go out of their way to counter it. The Photosynthesis boosting its special attack or speed even further by using Booster Energy or Sun support. Many consider Fluttermane's offensive potential too strong for OU. Terrestrialization further amplifies it, allowing it to change typing and reduce the effectiveness of priority revenge killers. While counterplay does exist, it often requires using very niche Pokemon, making it difficult for teams to adapt without compromising on fair team building. Pelifin is another record-breaking quick ban. At first glance, Pelifin may seem weak due to its underwhelming base form, but its ability Zero to Hero transforms it into a powerhouse with a 650 BST. Pelifin Hero boasts great bulk, high attack and decent speed, making it an offensive force. Its signature move Jet Punch combined with Flip Turn, Wave Crash and solid coverage allows it to dominate threats and break through walls, especially when using Terra Water. While initially balanced by recall and the need to switch out, Pelifin's bulk up plus taunt set pushed its power further. This set leverages its bulk, taunt and drain punch to become nearly unbreakable, even against the metagame's bulkiest threats like Dondozo. Though it has some counters, Pelifin's overwhelming strength and the restrictions it places on team building led to one of the fastest quick bans ever. Iron Bumble is yet another record-breaking quick ban. Really noticing a pattern here. It's of course the paradox form of Delibird, and while it may sound funny, its power is anything but. With an incredible speed tier, unresisted step combo of Freeze Dry and Hydro Pump, and solid special attack, it limits defensive counterplay to very few Pokemon such as Blissey. Iron Bundle can use a variety of sets including heavy duty boots, which allows it to leverage Taunt, Flip Turn or Encore, or choice items to boost its offensive presence even further. Its surprising physical bulk and extra Terra Water make it difficult to eliminate, while its sheer offensive pressure robs games and forces opponents to sack Pokemon to stop it. Although there are ways to counter Iron Bundle, they often rely on prediction, dodging Hydro Pump or sacrificing Pokemon. This heavy concern on team building and gameplay led yet to another record-breaking quick ban. Initially overshadowed by Chien-Pao, Chi-Yu quickly became a centralizing force in the metagame due to its high special attack, powerful Dark Fire typing and its Ruin ability, which lowers opponents' special defense and amplifies its damage as a result. Terrestrialization further boosts its power, making Chi-Yu extremely difficult to counter, especially when using choice specs, as it could straight out 2-hit KO Blissey or snipe counters like Tyranitar or Roaring Moon with Terra Blast. Chi-Yu is simply just a powerhouse, whether it's using choice specs, heavy duty boots with Nasty Plot, or Choice Scarf. Its versatility and overwhelming strength led to its ban. Annihilape quickly became a major threat in the metagame, largely due to its signature move, Rage Fist, which grows stronger each time it's hit. Its bulk up Rage Fist Drain Punch taunt set allows it to become an overwhelming force, especially with its natural bulk and ability to block status moves thanks to taunt. This allows it to shut down any passive Pokemon as they can't use status moves and also don't want to do chip damage to power Rage Fist. While Annihilape has defensive weaknesses, Terrestrialization often fixes them, making it harder to one-hit KO and allowing it to recover through leftovers and Drain Punch. With various Terra types, Annihilape can adapt to opponents' counters, often spiraling out of control if teams are not specifically prepared for it. Chin-Pao actually got banned twice, once at the start of the generation through a suspect, and another time after the release of Pokémon Home through a quick ban. Chin-Pao was one of the fastest and strongest Pokémon in the metagame, with its Sword of Ruin ability lowering opponents' defense. It used a powerful Ice Dark Step combo, complemented by moves like Sacred Sword, Ice Shard, and Sucker Punch. Chin-Pao typically was running either a Choice Band for raw power, or a Sword Stand set to sweep teams after a boost. Although counterplay was there through Pokémon like Poté and Tauros, Kingambit, and Tinkaton, and priority moves like Mach Punch or Bullet Punch, Chin-Pao's offensive pressure often forces teams to adapt heavily. It also is an excellent use of Terastallization, particularly Terra Dark, to enhance its damage output even further and be able to tweet kill bulky walls like Tontozo. It got unbanned with the release of Pokémon Home due to new counterplay being allowed like Magearna, but after Magearna's quick ban, spoilers alert, it was once again too much for the metagame to handle. Espatra, funnily enough, dropped down to UU at the start of the generation, but with some time it proved that it never should have been there in the first place. Espatra is a high risk, high reward Pokémon that uses its speed boost ability and Calm Mind to become a formidable sweeper with stored power. Its ability to outspeed most Pokémon and resist common priority moves with Terastallization makes it challenging to counter. It often paired with Orthworm for Shed Tail support and could use various Terra types to handle different threats, such as Terra Fairy for Dark types and Terra Fire for Steel types. Despite theoretical counters like Dark and Steel types, these are often vulnerable to Espatra's specific Terra type or require significant investment in Terastallization, which can weaken defenses against other threats. Given its dominance and the challenge it poses, Espatra was deemed too restrictive for the metagame. Regieleki is yet another record-breaking quick ban, as it holds the record for the fastest quick ban ever in competitive singles. Regieleki showed an overwhelming offensive power during its short time in the OU tier, particularly with the use of Terastallization. Its combination of Electric Stab and Terra Blast Ice, known for its Bolt Beam coverage, proved too dominant for the metagame. While Regieleki already had exceptional strength and speed, this coverage made it even more challenging to handle. Despite attempts to counter it with Terra and defensive strategies, Regieleki often used Substitute to simplify predictions and scout defenses. With minimal counterplay available, it was decided to remove Regieleki and prevent it from further disrupting the evolving metagame. Magearna is one of the most versatile and dynamic offensive Pokémon. It can dismantle bulky teams with one set while exploiting fragile offenses with another due to its extensive coverage options. Terastallization enhances its offensive capabilities and provides defensive turns to reposition. Additional team support like Dual Screens or Trick Room further amplifies its threats, alongside its potential for spikes and the powerful choice packs from last gen. Magearna's various setups including Calm Mind plus Shift Gear or Shift Gear plus 3 attacks make it particularly troublesome with stored power, as it can often tailor its moves to bypass most counterplay effectively. Zamazenta Crown was basically a one-trick pony with Iron Defense plus Body Press, but it was a strong one. Its immense defensive power and devastating Body Press made it a significant challenge to counter, making it very polarizing for the tier. Despite its single predictable set, Zamazenta severely constrained team building in the overall metagame, and while it did fill a unique niche effectively, its dominance with Body Press proved too disruptive, leading to its removal from the tier. Receiver Rapid Strike became a top offensive threat with its new moves and items. With Sword Stance and Punch and Gloves, as well as its access to Terastallization and Trailblaze, its powerful step moves Searching Strikes close combat are hard to counter, requiring specific resists, and it can dispatch of quicker threats with a boosted Aqua Jet. Consistent defensive counterplay was scarce, with options like Toxapex being situational and others like Amoonguss or Slowbro being less effective. While Terastallization for defensive purposes is risky and unreliable. Due to its overwhelming impact on team building in the metagame, Retrieval was banned. Volcarona is another Pokémon that has been banned twice in Gen 9. It got quick banned during the Pokémon Home meta and suspect tested after its unbanned during DLC 2 meta. Volcarona has been a top tier threat in OU since Generation 5, and its power only increased with the Terastallization this generation and heavy duty boots last gen. Its Quiver Dance set allows it to become a deadly sweeper, and while counters like priority moves and unaware abilities exist, many defensive options are unreliable. Terra adds versatility, enabling Volcarona to adapt its typing for both offense and defense. Volcarona typically runs Quiver Dance with Fire Blast or Fire Blast, and coverage options like Bug Buzz or Giga Drain. Terra Blast, especially with Ground or Dragon typing, further enhances its ability to pick its own counterplay. This flexibility made Volcarona just too constraining on T-wielding and is why it got banned twice. Excalibur, which was already a top tier threat at the time thanks to its high attack stat and superb offensive typing, became even more dangerous with the addition of Skill Shot and improved team support from 9+ Alolan in DLC 1. Excalibur's new ability to boost its speed while dealing significant damage made it even harder to counter, especially when paired with Loaded Dice and Icicle Spear, with the former also boosting Skill Shot damage, not to mention being able to boost its attack with Sword Stance. Despite hopes that new DLC additions, including faster Pokemon and more fairy types, would balance it, the Excalibur's versatility, supported by Snow Warning, Aurora Veil and Terrestrialization, solidified its position as one of the strongest options in Gen 9 overuse at the time. Ogerpon Heartflame was one of the new additions that came with DLC 1 and quickly became a dominant force in the metagame due to its powerful offensive tools and limited counterplay. While revenge killing was possible, it lacked sufficient defensive answers, making it difficult to handle consistently. Its Fiery Grass Step and Mold Breaker ability combined with Sword Stance, good speed, and coverage moves like Play Rough and Knockoff made it a formidable opponent. The Heartflame Mask and Embody Aspect ability further boosted its power, making defensive play nearly impossible, as it was even able to easily 2-hit kill bulky fire resist like Toxapex with Sun support. To maintain metagame balance, Ogerpon Heartflame got banned. Another new DLC 1 addition, Ursaluna Blood Moon, emerged as a dominant force in OU, combining strong offensive potential with bulk. Its signature move Blood Moon, paired with Calm Mind and Moonlight, made it difficult to stop despite its low speed and average special defense. Ursaluna Blood Moon's normal ground typing is also amazing offensively, and it could use Terrestrialization to avoid certain threats. While offensive counterplay did exist, defensive answers were quite limited. Given its impact on the metagame, a suspect test was conducted that resulted in an overwhelming ban majority. Sneasler became a significant force in the metagame after its mid-generation release, particularly when paired with Rillaboom to set Grassy Terrain, which enhanced its speed and bulk thanks to Grassy Seed as the item of choice. This made Sneasler very difficult to counter offensively with few viable options other than specific priority moves or rain boosted Barraskewda. Defensive counters like Dondozo and Iron Defense Garganacl variants exist, but require specific conditions to be effective. Sneasler's Dire Claw move, while providing additional utility, was less of a focus compared to its effectiveness as a sweeper with Sword Stance and various step moves. The combination of Unburden and Grassy Terrain made Sneasler exceptionally strong, reducing its entry barriers and allowing it to sweep teams more easily. The primary reason for its ban was a combination of Sword Stance and Unburden on Grassy Terrain teams, which proved too powerful for the tier. Terrapagos, a new Pokemon from the Indigo Disc DLC, quickly became a dominant force in the tier thanks to its new Stellar typing. Terra Stellar bumps up its base stats to that of a cover legendary, and combined with its powerful signature move Terra Starstorm, makes it extremely difficult for traditional checks like Golden Go and Dragon Ball to handle. With a high base stat total and a versatile move pool, Terrapagos can run a variety of effective sets including Calm Mind combinations and offensive setups. Terrapagos' Terra Shell ability provides it with substantial defensive utility, allowing it to set up and sweep with relative ease. Terrapagos' overwhelming presence was very clearly uncompetitive, particularly against offensive teams, and due to this impact, it was banned from the OU tier. Achelodon, another new DLC 2 addition, was a key Pokemon on Rain teams, utilizing its signature move Electroshot, which benefits from Rain by bypassing charging turns and dealing significant damage, and boosting its special attack in the process. With its strong electric type coverage, along with Draco Meteor and Flash Cannon for stab, Archelodon could effectively handle most of the metagame. Its ability Stamina in combination with Body Press allowed it to deal with special walls and steel types, while Earthquake provides additional coverage if needed. Often equipped with an assault vest, Archelodon compensates for its lower special defense, and its natural bulk combined with its incredible defensive typing and Terra Fairy makes it a formidable opponent. It could survive major attacks from top threats like Zamazenta and Kyurem and KO them back, and can be difficult to counter effectively, especially in rain, where it excels. This was especially very dominant in SPL, one of the biggest OE tournaments, where the win rate on rain teams with this Pokémon was above 85%. So after a suspect test, it got banned with a banned majority. Yet another DLC 2 edition and the last ban on this list, Gouging Fire emerged as a dominant threat in the Gen 9 OU metagame. Initially suspect tested in March this year, its adaptation to the metagame prompted another suspect test, which was done recently. Gouging Fire showcases impressive versatility with sets like Dragon Dance and Choice Band. Dragon Dance sets aim to maximize damage output and enable sweeping, while bulkier variants use Breaking Swipe, Flare Blitz and Morning Sun to effectively counter common threats like Great Tusk and Dragonite. The Pokemon's ability to adapt through specialization and items such as Covert Cloak and Terror Ghost further enhances its resilience and offensive capabilities. Choice Band Gouging Fire, especially in some teams, is particularly formidable. While support dependent and less consistent, it poses a severe threat under optimal conditions such as Sun Boost. Despite this, its reliance on specific conditions made it less of a universal threat compared to other sets. The metagame however adapted to Gouging Fire sets, with players developing new counter strategies like Terra Fairy. However, Gouging Fire are adapted back, particularly through offensive booster energy and various terrestrialization options. This made counterplay increasingly difficult. While Pokemon like Dondozo and Toxic Gliscor can counter certain variants, the dynamic nature of Gouging Fire sets and strategies creates a high stakes guessing game for opponents. Gouging Fire ended up getting banned with a very overwhelming ban majority, one of the highest we've ever seen. These are all the currently banned Pokemon in Gen 9 overused. Let me know if there's a Pokemon that you would potentially retest in Gen 9. And if you enjoyed the video, consider liking the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.